Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. In the last part we finished off Great Bay Temple and saw some scenes afterwards in that area getting our double defense. But then more importantly we got the Song of Storms in the Ikana graveyard on the night of the first day. And now that we have that, we actually want to head back to the main part of Ikana Canyon beyond this dude with the Garo mask. Because we can now actually access the main part of that area now that we have the ice arrows. I should note, by the way, if you're coming here during any of the daytime periods, you can find a rather interesting enemy in this area we're not going to see until the next dungeon, known as a Nejiron. They are fake Gorons with creepy faces that roll into you and explode. I don't know why, I've always just found them very creepy, but also kind of entertainingly stupid. And this is me showing off the fact that if you get cursed by a bubble, you can just use the Song of Storms to get rid of the curse. I believe that feature was also in Ocarina, but it's been a hot minute. I can't see it, but I sense there's a thirst for blood looming all around us. Don't you have a mask that can summon the unseen? Put on your Garo mask whenever Tattle says that, and this happens. Master, you called. What are you? This is a Garo. Just concentrate on blocking and dodging those sharp swords. These show up periodically throughout the entirety of the Ikana Canyon area from this point on, more or less whenever Tattle just kind of dings for seemingly no reason. And they're pretty simple fights. You just have to spin attack and they'll probably get them killed pretty quickly. They can block, but they can only block for so long kind of deal. Getting them during a jump's a good idea overall. Regrettable. Although, my rival, you were spectacular. I shall take my bow by opening my heart and revealing my wisdom. To cross the Valley of Ikana, aim at the river beast with the arrowhead that freezes. Belief or disbelief rests with you. To die without leaving a corpse, that is the way of us, Garo. You can fight any Garo in this area, and they'll by and large always give you a hint on a way to progress in this area in some form or another, be it for side quests or main quests. For instance, that one tells you you're gonna need ice arrows to get up to the main section like I just said. But notably, I also want to come back here to the Deku Scrub. We got the final land title deed for, because I actually want to buy a blue potion from them. You need this more so than you need a couple of the other items I've gotten in this 3-day cycle already to prepare for something we're gonna do in this area, like the Deku Nuts, like the 5 magic beans, and blah blah blah. But it's good to grab that if you want to explore the whole area we're going to be using those all in. And I hope you still have those, by the way. Theoretically, it would have been better for me to set up the things you need for that ahead of time, but I'll talk more about the in-depth aspect of that next part for a couple reasons. Oh god, nice shot. Also, it's a very minor thing you don't even get to see too often, but the way ice looks on Octoroks when you freeze them, crunchy. I love it. I want to eat it. It's one of those game textures that just always sticks out of my brain of, why does that look tasty? It's like lava being the forbidden candy. Like, what is it about my brain that makes it think that? Now that we made it up here, though, we can find ourselves at the first owl statue here in Ikana Canyon. And notably, and I'll get more into the annoyance of this in several parts, that is the only owl statue here in the Japanese N64 release, if memory serves. But because we're now in Ikana Canyon, we can also get our final Tingle map. He does label this area a little weird. He actually labels this as the Stone Tower area, which is technically true. Considering that's what the temple is for this area. Getting a little ahead of ourselves here. You can technically start the way towards moving to it. You just can't do anything in that direction yet. But now we have every map, so we never need to talk to this version of Tingle again. Yay. I've always been kind of split on Tingle. I think he's kind of funny, but I think he's funnier in every other occurrence than Majora, only because they give him more personality. Also, these are Gibdos. If they see you, they will scream and you will be frozen. And it's kind of terrifying in that regard immediately. Keep away from our house. My father's not one of you. Oh, God. I think they took offense to you saying that. I want to say you get hints on what to do here from some of the Garo more than anything. Because of the Garo system in place here, Ikana is definitely the area that has the least amount of dialogue for you to read from just NPCs out and about on how to progress through it. Which is kind of weird, but oh well. We want to head to this cave on the far side. Spring Water Cave, entry prohibited due to ghost sightings. I'm sure it'll be fine.
What business have you in Ikana Kingdom, land where only the dead roam? This is no place where one as full of life as you. Or do you say that you wish to join the dead? That is fine. If that is the case, then sleep gently to the melody of darkness that the great composer Sharp shall play, and join the ranks of the dead.
So while you're in here, Sharp is constantly inflicting damage at a pretty good rate even with your defense up. So let's accidentally almost play Epona's song. So his name being Sharp, this is Flat's brother, so the thing you want to do here is play the Song of Storms. But you do actively get a little scene if you play the Song of Healing, in case you make your way up here before you go to the graveyard. And I figured, well, I might as well show this off.
Somehow my heart is eased. This melody has a serenity to it, and yet... To one of the dead in darkness like myself, a song like that holds no meaning for me. You shall end your futile resistance and quickly join the ranks of the dead.
And I'm not sure if he actually speeds up the damage he does to you at that point, but just play the Song of Storms to get some stuff in.
What is this? This song? No, it can't be this song. Flat, my dear brother. Forgive your foolish brother who dreamt of the revival of the royal family. Ye who do not fear the dead. With my brother's song, you've broken the curse that was placed upon me. It is all thanks to you. We dead should not be lingering here in this land. It was all a trick of the masked one who had upset things. If you truly do not fear the dead, I wish for you to go to the temple in this land and sever the root of the evil curse that torments us. To do that, I, the only one who knows the way into the temple, shall direct you to the king. The king is in the ruins of Ikana Castle, awaiting the coming of the one who will break the curse. I have made my final request.
I always found it kind of weird that for the little music house here in Ikana Canyon, the song that drives away the Gibdos, and there is a little bit of lore for why that is, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. It's just the booze haunted mansion thing in Mario 64, I forget the name of the level. It's the carnival joy-round thing down there. So I'm wearing the stone mask right now because after you turn on the water, so to speak, and cause the house to turn on, that girl leaves her house finally. And if you get seen by her, she actively runs back inside, but the stone mask prevents that from happening. Got some illustrations of Gibdos in her house and some Garos even. Huh, kinda weird. Alright, if you get too close or let him get too close, you trigger a different cutscene. This mummy looks different, sort of like it's waiting for its human heart to be healed. Well, do something. Haven't you figured it out yet? We need to play the Song of Healing. Do not let it get too close, otherwise you have to actually reset this 3-day cycle.
Father? Father!
Pamela? What have I been doing this whole time?
You haven't been doing anything. You had a bad dream. You were just having a little nightmare.
Pamela? We got the Gibdo mask. This mask was once the hideous face of Pamela's father. This mask looks so real that even a Gibdo would mistake you as one of its own. We actually try to investigate them as well. Let them be, don't you get it? You're so insensitive. We can get some more information on the area and what's going on if we talk to Pamela and her father, but to do that we need to exit and re-enter the house, and this is probably the first time I've done that. Probably since before there was a tens digit in the current year dates.
What you did for my father, thank you. But you helping us, it's a secret from my father. Whenever anything strange happens, my father immediately starts talking about doing research. And he does all kinds of crazy things, so... Once he calms down a bit, I think I'll try convincing him to quit researching in this dangerous place and go back to town. So, if my father sees you again, I'm sorry. Well, let's go see him again. Might as well completely see what's going on. Oh, isn't this a fairy? Is this yours, young man? I'm the famed academic who researches fairies, ghosts, and similar so-called supernatural phenomena. By the way, the song Farewell to Gibdos, which the music box is now playing, drives away Gibdos. I discovered it after many years of researching Gibdo. In regards to ghosts, there isn't another academic who can match my knowledge, so ask me anything you like. It's been some time since I've seen a fairy this lively. Say, young man, would you permit me to do research on this fairy? I don't think she would let you either. Are you curious about that picture? That's a mummified man. Its scientific name is Gibdo. A tale in Ikana tells of a treasure that rests at the bottom of the well on the hilltop. It seems the spirits of those who became Gibdos upon entering the well in search of that treasure still linger inside. It's been said that going down there's a petrifying experience, so even the mummy hunter may become mummified. Are you curious about that picture? That's the ghost of a ninja. Its scientific name is Garo Robe. They're merely shells that are empty on the inside. They're the shells of spies from an enemy nation sent to investigate Ikana. They've been unable to forget their living days. Even now their spirits, emptiness cloaked in darkness, continue to spy. According to rumor, those Garo frequently appear near the ranch on the far side of town. That explains why we got the mask there. Now, I don't show this off, but you actively can talk with him with a few masks equipped to get some extra dialogue, particularly the Gibdo mask, I think the Garo mask, and I think the captain's hat, and you'll get more information. I forget to do that,
if only because it's one of the few times you actively get dialogue completely reacting to your mask outside of the Happy Mask Salesman back in the clock tower. For the most part, characters will ignore you if you're wearing a mask. The only times they really don't is if you're, say, wearing a transformation mask and you need to be highly linked to actively, like, investigate the shop or anything like that. The important thing to note is that he brought up that well. In fact, it's kind of implied, I think, if you talk to him with the Gibdo mask, the entire reason he started going through the mummification process was because he tried to research down there. Whoops. For now, though, we are back in Clocktown because it's about to be the dawn of the second day, and we have to go back and do the Honey and Darling shop again to do the second minigame that's going to spawn here. And it only opens at 6 a.m. on the dot. Admittedly, this playthrough is probably the first time I've actively, like, messed around more with using the inverse Song of Time to speed up and slow down when I'm waiting. Partially because for a lot of the last decade when I was playing through this game, I was like either playing it and then interspersing some homework here and there for college or high school. I would very often just let the times where I had to wait play out in the slower time flow. But nowadays, I don't really have a need for that, honestly. For now, let's see what Honey and Darling have to say. It looks like we have a visitor, Honey. I wonder if it's a customer, Darling. Oh, are you the one who got a perfect score yesterday? Would you like to play again? Today is basket bomb day, isn't it, darling? One game is 10 rupees. Get a bomb inside every basket in the time it takes us to dance through one song. If you throw with too much power, you'll fall off this platform, so be careful, right, darling? Are you ready? Start the music. Yeah, that is something I should have mentioned, actually, during the first Honey and Darling game. If you fall off the platform, you just lose, and you have to start again and pay more rupees. So, each of the 3 days we come here, we're getting a completely different minigame. And, honestly, the Bomb Chew target practice one is easily the hardest of the 3, because Basket Bomb is overall easier for 2 reasons. One, you don't have to worry about the travel time nearly as much, because the throwing arc with the bombs is so good, and the platform's usually at a height where you can easily get it into the respective basket without a worry. But also, as you even saw here, the bombs can and will actively slide into the basket if you, like, just land on the rim perfectly, so it's pretty easy. Did you see that, Honey? He got a perfect score. We have to share our happiness with him, Honey. And that's another 50 rupees that I will never use. That's annoying, so let's show off again for him tomorrow, darling. And indeed, we will be coming back here on the 3rd day for the final of the side quests we can do here. I guess final of the minigames for this overall side quest. Next up, we want to head back to Great Bay. Like I think I mentioned after we finished the temple, by and large, not much changes in Great Bay after you beat the boss. Yes, things are happier. I think the clouds around the Great Bay Temple are gone. I think they might be more dialogue at the Pirates Fortress if you go over there. I've actually never really checked. The important thing is, a single new minigame has opened here. It's time for the Fisherman's Jumping Game. The main way you're meant to get onto this island is by using this boat that's here after you clear Great Bay Temple. Although I think actually the boat is here beforehand, it just won't move. When you get on it moves, and you then need to hookshot your way onto the core island over here. I want to say there are other ways you can get onto this island, mostly by using some form of speedrun tricks or weird little collision things. But this is the main way you're meant to get up here. This is, I believe, available anytime from like 7 a.m. specifically through like 8 p.m. on any of the in-game days. It's just that you're probably not going to be doing it too late in the 3-day cycle because you're probably going to be doing other things. Oh, sorry. Evenings and the first thing in the morning are my break times. Come back later. This is like one of the only times I can think of where a minigame doesn't outright open at 6 a.m. And I do not know why. With that said, this minigame, pretty straightforward. If anything, it's a case where they probably give you a little too much time. But we'll talk more about that in however many seconds are left before it turns 7 a.m. There we go. Now the seas are back to normal, I've started a little business aimed at tourists. If you pay 20 rupees, I'll invite you to a jumping game that has a really big prize. If you're up for it, go to that island in the center. Alright, let's give this a shot. Oh, you're up for it. Now then, I'll explain the rules, so listen carefully. I'm going to light the torches on each of the surrounding 4 islands in a particular order. Jump to the island that has the lit torch. If you can jump to it before the torch goes out, you get 1 point. If you get 20 or more points within the time limit, you get a big prize, but it'll cost 20 rupees for 1 try. How about it? Will you give it a try? Yep. Great, in that case, I'll start. So he says he'll light them in a particular order, but as far as I know, the torches do light randomly. Just jump to the island, you get a point. You jump back to the center island, you get to the next one, you get another point. The torches are only lit for a certain time, but missing a torch isn't a loss, it's just a loss of that single point. You have more than enough time to get 20. You do have to be kind of precise in your controls though, because if you fall in the water, well, you have to get back on the island for one thing, and that's a waste of time. But you have to pay again to try the minigame again. I haven't lost this minigame in a hot minute, but it can be a little bit tough for beginners only because this game I think controls more sharply than Ocarina of Time on the whole, only because it feels like they understood the controls a little more for this point, so level design makes more sense around it. On top of like the Zora form swimming existing period. But there is still a stiffness inherent to the N64 that makes this a little harder. The 3DS version of this is a little easier because they did smooth out the controls on top of the higher frame rate, meaning the inputs are registered more quickly technically, or at least more regularly. So you'll have an easier time there, but this isn't too bad all the same. A little bit of a strategy as well. The torch of the island you're on will never relight immediately. It's always going to be one of the 3 others. So try to at least always have 2 of the other torches in frame when you jump so you can kind of just deduce where the final flame is from there. As you can see, we have about 40 seconds left and we've already gotten the point threshold we need for the reward here. I have very regularly gotten upwards of like 30 plus points in this minigame. It's very easy. Although, if anything, the camera being pointed down at the water for this long makes you start to realize how they made the water work in this game, where it's 2 scrolling textures layered on top of each other in such a way to simulate depth. And you know what? Not for nothing. It's kind of impressive. At least for the N64. I still think the best looking water in a Zelda game is... yeah, it's probably Wind Waker, if only because it's got that nice styling going on. Alright, that's it. Although, Skyward Sword's water looked good, too. Uh-oh, that was a little too easy. Oh well, here's your prize. And for doing that, we get ourselves another piece of heart. I was thinking of saving up and buying a big ship. Now it looks like I may go bankrupt. Whatever little ship you got, you might want to take it and just go out to sea, because it feels like if you're gonna survive the moon falling, being outwards beyond Great Bay Temple is probably the best way to do that. Even then, it's still not likely, but at least you have a chance. So that takes care of the things currently available to us that we haven't already done outside of Ikana Canyon for now. So let's head back here and head towards the only real minigame this area has to offer. In particular, we want to head to a house on the far side north. Not too far to the left of the cave where Sharp was. Also, if you're ever running low on arrows, because you are going to need them, especially for what's coming up, grass right here gives you free 30 pretty quickly. Again, the game's pretty consistent about giving you little things you can destroy, particularly grass near owl statues that drop items like that. So take advantage of it whenever you can. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 23, we're going to venture around Ikana Canyon getting a minigame or 2 done before heading on towards the next plot node. See you guys then.